Hey, Pastor Scott here with the Weekly Word, being joined by Pastor Mark today, and we're going to be talking about redemption and just that extraordinary work God does to save us and that Jesus sacrificially gave for us. And there's a passage in Colossians chapter 1 I want to read, and so we're talking today, calling it Walking Free. And so it says this, talking about living out our redemption story. God rescued us from dead-end alleys and dark dungeons. I'm reading from the Message version, by the way. He's set us up, or transferred us, in the kingdom of the Son He loves so much, the Son who got us out of the pit we were in. He purchased us. He got rid of the sins we were doomed to keep repeating. So the question I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask Pastor Mark to challenge us, is what do we do with that now? Looking at He rescued us. He set us up in the kingdom of heaven. He got us out of the pit, and we were forgiven. So what do we do with that now? What's your challenge to us?
I can't help but think about that word rescue. Being a little bit older, drove a lot of cars that would break down on a regular basis, and how if you ran out of gas or something, somebody would come to the rescue, and how grateful I always was when somebody would come and help me, or how much fun it was to get to help somebody else that needed to do that. But that level of gratitude pales in comparison to thinking about what Jesus did for us. I mean, I just think about that transferring us to His kingdom of light from the pit that we're all in, and then that sense that He moves us. My challenge just is, if you think about all the things that He's rescued us from, how can you not just be filled with gratitude and thankfulness?
Yeah, I've never met anybody who ran out of gas more than me in my life. So I've run out of gas 5 times in my life. You think I'd learned after one, but I like to push the limits and see how far E really goes. And there wasn't a single time that I didn't. Most of them I knew the person that I found, finally got a hold of. And one time a guy just picked me up, and I remember he was listening to Tone Loc. And so I got to listen to the, Funky Cold Medina along the way, but it was totally worth it. I was so grateful. But I was really grateful. Yeah. They rescued me, and all of them ended up paying for my gas too. That's the cool thing. I didn't do it on purpose, but they rescued me and they paid for what I blew, which is interesting.
It's kind of scriptural, I think.
Yeah, so that's walking free, right? Well, there's this song that you and I showed recently. We were teaching a class in Hebrews. I think it may be in chapter 10, but I can't remember exactly. Maybe 9. And there's a song called Walking Free by an artist named Micah Tyler. I recommend you find that one, especially the one he does with Matthew West, and just listen to it. But I'm going to read some of the words from it, and then I have a question for you to take us home with. So he's singing in a very raspy kind of country pop voice, and it's really good. And he says, "The verdict was guilty, case closed, the end. No chance for me to ever leave this prison of my sin. Now it might sound crazy, but one day a key unlocked that cell. I heard a small voice say, 'Your debts have been paid by somebody else.' Now I'm walking free, no more darkness. Guilt has lost its grip on me. When mercy called my name, those chains fell at my feet, and now I'm walking free. I've got a Savior who knows everywhere I've been, and He's telling me that I don't have to ever go back there again. Now I'm walking free." And then he turns into evangelism. To the one walking wounded, to the one with regret, your victory is just up ahead, because there's a Savior who knows everywhere you've been. So really, what is your walking free story? What are you doing with that? And what's your challenge for us in thinking of your walking free story and what we're supposed to do with that?
I just am struck by the idea that we've probably all been in a prison of some sort in our lives. We've been captured, whether it's a literal prison or a prison of our own making, or a prison of our own minds. But the idea that somebody comes along and they slip a key in and turn the lock, and then all I got to do is walk out. all I got to do is accept that door is now open and walk through it. So I think the challenge for all of us is, have I accepted that door is open, that the key has been put in, and then there's no cost other than to say, I accept it, and I'm going to move forward in my life. I'm going to accept the mercy, accept the grace, and then go walk in a freeness that I've never experienced before, or a newness that I've never experienced before.
Yeah, that's that extraordinary redemption.
Extraordinary.
We challenge you to live it out. We're called to live it out, and there's a lost world that Jesus already bought back, but they do have to accept it. They have to accept that the door's open and step into that. That's appropriating that freedom. And you and I, that's our job, to tell our redemption story. For Pastor Mark, it's Pastor Scott. Have a fantastic week.